Welcome back to the Waffle-shed, Waffle Maniacs. I'm here to talk to you about a regular Saturday afternoon in a market square where partially clad people are beating seven shades out of one another. But this time, it's not Stevenage. This is Hitchin, and this is professional. Well, Bart was there. This is UBW. This is Showdown on the Square. A massive crowd gathered of diehard fans and newcomers to UBW to see some wrestling. And unfortunately, the first two clashes they were dealt with involved the UBW Tag Team Champions. Now, these guys claim to be the Tag Team Champions, being
Aidan White
and Ben Gedling, sponsored here by the Puppet Company, obviously. But they purport to be the Tag Team Champions, and yet here again, two matches, singles matches, no tag team belts on the line. Again, so far, so standard. The first match saw
Aidan White
go up against Harrison Leon, crowd favourite versus someone who was perpetually antagonising the crowd. There must have been a guy standing behind me that
Aidan White
took a disliking to, because he was pointing in my direction and saying, out of the square, terrible hairline, terrible beard, should be banned from the square. And I mean, I don't know who this guy was, but he was really upsetting him. But he came into the ring, giving it all the gab as normal, and just as normal, left with his towel between his legs. He was spun around like stupid, suplexed all over the place, pinned, 1, 2, 3, another singles loss, but still a champion. And the second match, similarly, saw Ben Gedling,
Aidan White's
#1 client, take on the UBW heavyweight champion Chris Aries. Now, this is a rematch of sorts of a 2-second match that took place at Stevenage Super Brawl between these two, where Ben Gedling was claiming that it wasn't fair because the match was 2 seconds long and you can't have a 3 count in 2 seconds, but it happened, it was a loss, the rematch is here, and he tried to prove that anything the champion could do, he could do better. Everything he did, unfortunately, was a pale comparison to Chris Aries, who did an amazing role, and Ben Gedling followed that up with a basic forward roll. A kip up from the champ, and we got a languishing on our back from Ben. Not good at all. And Aries fooled Gedling by saying, up! I think Ben's still there looking in the sky, unsure of exactly what went on. Unsurprisingly, another defeat for the Pooh Boys means 2 matches at Showdown in the Square, 2 defeats. And these guys are still the champions. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. By the time, hopefully, you are watching this, these guys will no longer be the champs, having gone up against True and Lacey at Crown and Glory. My prediction is new champions all the way, and we can get rid of this ridiculous non-tag team champion skip.
Sit up there. Sit up there.
The third clash of the day and first half main event was a fatal 4-way between some of the biggest hitters that UBW have to offer. We had, as introduced by one of them, the deadliest woman in British wrestling. That's Neurotoxin, and I think it goes beyond that, but we'll get to that in a little while. And we had Shrek, which, well, it's Liam McCarthy. And we also had a teddy bear, as the crowd named him, which is Big Wade. Neither of these guys seemed particularly happy with their introduction in comparison to Toxin, but then they were being delivered by the ever-daring, sunshade-wearing, no ceiling, high-five stealing, no scamming, Andre slamming, son of a... Damn, I didn't check to see what Skip's dad did. Let me see. I'll give him a shout. Anyway, it was UBW legend and Hall of Famer Sunset Skip taken to the ring to take on the other 3, and pretty much the plan from the start from these aggressors was, let's team up on Skip. They seem to have this plan that they'd take it in turns to beat him up, but they didn't plan for who was going to pin him and take the win. This meant we had squabbles between McCarthy and Wade and Toxin all the way through the match, which allowed our hero to regroup to come back for the victory. Wade and McCarthy seem to have an issue going on. In fact, Wade seems to have an issue with most people at the moment. Obviously, he's got 3 opponents here, but he really had eyes for McCarthy and taking him down a peg or 2. They spilled outside the ring and were smashing each other up on the guardrails, which were keeping everyone safe except for maybe Wade and McCarthy, which left Toxin and Skip in the ring. And with the distracted referee by everything that was going on outside the ring, a low blow from Toxin meant that Skip lost out this time. And with a voice that was several registers higher than before, he laid down a challenge to Toxin and said, retribution's on its way, there's a 2nd half coming. And the second half starts with everyone standing up. I mean, largely, there weren't enough seats for most people to sit down, so everyone was standing up. But citizens stand up, comes the cry, and Hitchin Town Centre becomes Kray City. The mayor is in attendance, he's shaking hands, he's making friends, doing all the diplomatic stuff he needs to do, but sadly he's up against some guys who have no diplomacy at all. It's the label, and representing the label is the head of the label, Freddie Idle, and he's got Liam McCarthy in tow. Liam's not here to mess around.
I can just stand there and look pretty.
I think he might have his work cut out with that one. What exactly are the label, or what is the purpose of the label? What we do know is that they've all got each other's backs. So these three guys are always circling. If one's in the ring, two are outside. If two are in the ring, there's always someone doing a distraction. And that's the case here. McCarthy distracts the referee after Vinny is running the match. There's GBH in the square, and it's actually being cheered on this occasion. There's the usual banging in the mouth, and the crowd go absolutely insane for that. But McCarthy gets in the way, he distracts the referee, and there's a rake to the eyes, and Vinny, unsighted, gets put into a submission move and taps out. It's not what the crowd want to see, and it's something that Vinny at this stage can't see either. He needs to be led away from the ring till he can recover, because he will be back later, as will everyone. And what next for Freddie Idle? Well, I think up next he's got the final of the British Crown Cup, so he best take some time out. But he's very mindful of the cameras, because these guys, as with everyone here at Showdown the Square, is being sponsored by a local business. Hitchin TV are sponsoring the label, and their cameras are absolutely everywhere, picking up pretty much everything. I've heard there's a special coming from Hitchin TV. It's well worth catching this show if you weren't there at the time. We are racing through this one, and we're getting to the penultimate match of the afternoon, which is a three-way tussle with no disqualification. Now, when I tell you one of the guys coming to the ring is holding an axe, this could get very bloody. It's crowd favourite Axeman Bunting, and the axe is held aloft as he comes through the crowd, everyone parting, most people with kids looking a little bit suspicious of what's going on, before everyone breaks into a cheer of axe, axe, axe in his support. Who's he going up against? Well, he's going up against Max. It's Max Gaines, making a return to the UBW ring after a brief stay away. And because it's a fatal three-way, we have, well, a member of the label, it's Tig again, bringing his culture to Hitchin. The crowd here are split. There are the Axe Maniacs, there are the Max Maniacs, and there are, actually there's no one there for Tig. So we get Axe, Max, Axe, Max, Axe, Max, Goober, Goober, Goober. And the match itself is pretty much just Goober abuse. Tig is not from pillar to post by the other two, and I think for the length of this match, there's only 30 seconds where Max and Axe are actually facing each other one-on-one. The rest of the time, it's being held vertical, it's being slammed, it's being felled, it's being chopped down, it's being hit from behind. It's not a good day to be a Tig. And then we're set up for the big finale when... And as far as I can recall, Axeman was felled, there are gains for Max, and Tig's streak goes on. This streak that Tig has in UBW and Square One is absolutely amazing. It may well be the greatest streak in wrestling at the moment. But there's an opportunity for that streak to be broken, as it's time for the show-finishing Battle Royal. Right. It's Battle Royal time, and no sooner has the peal of the bell signifying the end of the last match rung out than Tig's music plays again, and it's time for him to get back in. Although saying that, Tig doesn't have his own music. It's Freddie Idle's music that plays, and Tig's told, get back in there. He's not too steady on his feet, even the slightest little rocking of the ring, and that man falls back over. We get 15 competitors coming to the ring in all. Progressive Overload are eager to show the belts to the WO cam, so much so they knock it over. And with so many people in the ring, there are bound to be some hot spots. We've got old grudges between former partners. No, not those guys. These guys. It's less a battle royal than a battle mayoral at that point. No, it doesn't really work. Anyway, Vinny and Wade are not happy to see each other. Wade's been picking fights with everyone. He stood up against Liam McCarthy as he comes in. He's pushed Bunting over as he enters the ring, but he only really has eyes for getting even with his former employer, Vinnie Kray. This has been boiling up for some time now, and it spills out before the bell, during the match, and after, when both have been eliminated. And you know I mentioned that streak that Tick had? Well, the streak does go on. Not only does he get eliminated, but he gets pulled back in the ring by Skip and eliminated again. I'll have to start keeping count of this, I think. Saying that, there is a chance this weekend for Tig to overcome this constant losing streak as he goes up against Sunset Skip, who had an absolutely fantastic time here in the Battle Royal. For anyone that was at UBW 11 last year, they know the skipper has form in these kind of events, having won the Morris Cole Memorial Battle Royal and taken home the statue, as well as the plaudits and the entrance into the Hall of Fame. In this one, he does some amazing super kicks. Other highlights are Axeman Bunting trying to castrate Wade using the top rope. Bunting then being punted into next week by Neurotoxin. And although he may not thank me for it, Sunset Skip's impromptu prostate check from Liam McCarthy. And so we get down to the final two, and just like the end of the first half, we have Skip facing Neurotoxin. Now, Toxin at Crown and Glory has a chance to take the Square One title from Denzel Mack. And Skip introduced her earlier on as the most dangerous woman in British wrestling. I would say she's more than that. She's more than just the number one contender for the Square One title. She's a danger to everyone out there, be that legacy title holder, be that UBW heavyweight champion. Even the Kray City Championship is probably in danger at this point. But she's in the ring with Skip, and Skip wants revenge. He can't forget what happened at the end of the first half, and he's out for revenge, and he gets it. Skip becomes the inaugural winner of the Hitchin Town Square Battle Royal. And I hope it's not the last time we see this. It was a fantastic event. Everyone in attendance had an absolutely fantastic time. More of the same, please. Oh, a response from Skip. Doesn't really roll off the tongue. But he says, Skip's father, Daybreak Derek, was a man who made towns and removed frowns. Same as his father before him, Moonlight Mick. And his father before him, Twilight Terrence. And his father before him, Dusky Dwight. And his mother before him, Dawn. Right, I best make a move. I've got to head up north now, so I'm going to miss Crown and Glory. So anyone who's there, enjoy. Let me know what happened, because it's going to absolutely kill me to not be there and see Chris Aries versus Alexander Roth. But more importantly, Lacey and True standing tall as the new UBW Tag Team Champions. Stay in the know with the WO.
Aiden White.
What? Hi, Ben.